We pass onward when it's our time. But it's hard to imagine life here without Granny Tate to nurse our ills." Jenny nodded. Josh came out from the parlor to join them. He had a glass of scotch in one hand. His hair was pulled back in a tail, and he was in a clean shirt and jeans. He had ridden in for dinner in leather chaps and had been covered with trail dust. Temperance was maintaining the rule Jenny had always enforced. Even though this was a working ranch, you washed and wore clean clothes for dinner. He said, "How's my little brother doing?" "Fine," Johnny said. "He's asleep. Keep that foghorn voice of yours down now. I don't want to wake him." "I am being quiet." Jenny laughed and touched Josh on the arm. "I'll leave you men to talk." She went back inside. "So, Pa," Josh said, "I was wondering when you and Jessica and the kids were heading back to the cabin." He told Josh the same thing he told Jenny. Josh nodded, and he took a belt of scotch. Johnny said, "You got something on your mind." Josh nodded again. "Temperance doesn't like me to talk business at the dinner table. I suppose she's right. It should be family time. But I have something to ask you." Johnny said, "Ask away." "I got a letter on today's stage." Johnny nodded. A rider had come in from town with the letter. Josh said, "You know Kirby Jonas? Has a ranch down in Salmon River country." Johnny nodded again. "I've met him a couple of times. Runs a good-sized ranch there. About the size of this one. Well, he's auctioning off some stock. Must need to raise funds or something. His stock is usually the finest around. But you can't go check on it yourself because you're starting spring roundup in a few days." Josh nodded. Johnny said, "When's the auction?" 8 days. I know you want to get back to the cabin, but it would really help if you could attend that auction. Consider it done. I really appreciate it. Of course, Jessica and the kids can stay here as long as they need, but you shouldn't be gone long. I'll head out tomorrow to make sure I'm there in plenty of time. If I purchase some stock, the return trip will be a little longer, but either way, I won't be gone long." Josh nodded. "Thanks, Pa. I hate to put you out this way." Johnny shook his head. "Nonsense. You run things nowadays, and I'm partially retired, but I'm still a part of this ranch." After it was fully dark, Johnny headed upstairs with Caleb. He climbed the steps carefully, making certain not to jar the baby. Johnny's knees creaked a little, but Caleb slept with a peacefulness that only a baby can muster. There were 4 bedrooms on the second floor, and the one that had once held the bunks used by Josh and Dusty now held a queen-sized bed Josh had brought in for his pa and Jessica to use when they were at the ranch. The bed filled most of the room, but there was space between the bed and the wall for something the size of a crib. Jessica was in bed. Her dark hair had been tied into a braid that was flipped over the front of her shoulder, and she was in a flannel nightgown buttoned to the neck. "He's asleep," Johnny said. She was smiling, watching the sun go down with his daddy. Johnny lowered Caleb into a wooden cradle that was between the bed and the wall. Johnny had built it on rocker slats so it could be rocked from side to side. Caleb stirred a bit as Johnny set him down in the cradle, but didn't wake up. Jessica said, "You have such a gentle touch." Just ahead of the cradle was another one that Johnny had built like the first one. In it was little Elizabeth, sound asleep like her brother. Johnny said, "Who would have thought we'd have twins?" "I should have expected it. My grandmother was a twin." Johnny looked at both children. He said, "Did Lizzie get to sleep all right?" Jessica had been nursing her while Johnny headed downstairs with Caleb. She said, "No problems at all." Johnny stood a moment, looking at Jessica. She said, "What's wrong?" "Nothing's wrong. Just maybe a little change of plans." "Like what?" He told her about the cattle auction. "I'll be gone 3 weeks at the most." "I just hate to have you gone."